The Irish rockers U2, and some would say it's a beautiful day. Some would say it's a day of intrigue as Queen Elizabeth visits the Republic of Ireland. This is, as I understand it, something that hasn't happened in more than 100 years, and somewhat controversial. The Irish military, in fact, defused a bomb on Tuesday on a bus headed to Dublin ahead of the historic visit of Queen Elizabeth II. The military stopped a private bus, evacuated the passengers, and found what's called a viable device in the luggage compartment of the bus. Now, like all foreign heads of state, the Queen is going to go to the Garden of Remembrance and gave her respects to all of those who gave their lives in the cause of Irish freedom. She'll go to Croke Park, as I understand it. And the conflict between the Protestant Unionists in Northern Ireland, who want to remain part of the UK, and the Republicans, the Irish Catholic, who want Ireland to be united, have largely been quieted, the violence, we think, anyway. And Lynn Kelleher is on the other end of our line, journalist for Ireland on Sunday, on the visit of the Queen. Good morning to you.
Good morning, Michael Patrick. How are you?
Well, how's it going so far, Her Majesty? Some people don't like the idea. Some people think it's a sign of peace once and for all. What do you think?
Well, you know, it is a good thing for the country. I think we have moved on a lot, you know, especially with the peace process over the last few years. And the majority of people in Ireland are quite happy to see her coming like any other head of state. Mm-hmm. The pipe bomb was found yesterday on the way to Dublin, but it wasn't primed. And the general feeling is it's a very small minority of people, and the security threats are mainly disruptive. They're not seen as to cause loss of life as such, but they're a small group of Republicans looking to cause chaos or cause disruption, basically, on her visit. But it's a huge historic event here, and there's a huge amount of security. I mean, we've never seen, as you know, there's been lots of American presidents visited over the years, but Dublin has been shut down basically since Saturday. And nobody will, unlike when your own President Obama visits next week, there won't be a public address. So she will spend 4 days here, and she's due to touch down in an hour. And she'll go to Orsa Nuchtron and be greeted by the President, and then she's going to the Garden of Remembrance, and she's going to Croke Park, she's going to the Guinness Storehouse over the next 4 days, and she's visiting Cork as well. But she won't have a public address, whereas there is one being penciled in for President Obama next Monday.
Yeah.
But it is being seen as it's the first time in 100 years that a British monarch has visited Ireland, and it's seen as a kind of a celebration of the peace process by a lot of people, and a sign of maturity, between the two nations. I mean, there is lots of ties, economic, and lots of Irish people have emigrated to Britain over the years. So it's seen largely as a good thing for the country.
Yeah, I think the distinction that you made there at the beginning, that some of these attempted explosions and things like that are not meant really to kill anybody. They're just meant to get a little bit of attention. In other words, for instance, when they used to put incendiary devices into the Europa Hotel in Belfast, the terrorists used to call ahead of time and say, hey, there's going to be an explosion coming up. You might want to empty the hotel. And then the devices would be enough to cause enough of a stir. Although, sometimes they went too far. But that was the case. It was more about getting attention than it was about killing people. Is that true?
Yeah, absolutely. And as they say, the security forces have said this wasn't actually primed, even though it was a viable device and there was a small explosion which didn't blow up the whole bus. It caused a small bit of damage to the bus. But it wasn't designed to kill or injure anybody on the bus.
Having said that,
there was also a call ahead. It's basically... they're being used to cause embarrassment or disruption. Having
said that, there is a large amount of security for a very good reason, because just in sheer numbers, there would be people who would, in their twisted sort of minds, have fantasies about taking out the Queen of England, wouldn't there be?
Yeah, a small minority again, but as the commentators were saying this morning, the distinction between Queen of England visiting and the President of America visiting, there's huge security for both visits. Mm-hmm. But the threat for the Queen is seen to come within Ireland, from maybe terrorists in Ireland, whereas the threat to your President would be coming from outside of Ireland. Mm-hmm. So they're quite different threats, whereas that's why he is allowed to have a public
A
address.
public address.
They're talking about maybe, you know, O'Connell Street, that there'll be a rally and he'll meet the public. But I suppose with this visit, and particularly with the first visit, and it's very sensitive, she will be making a speech at a state dinner. So, you know, whatever she says as well, it will be very significant and, you know, could quieten down a lot of, they're kind of the last remnants of the peace process.
Well, it'll be fascinating to watch, and what a coincidence, a week apart, the Queen of England and the President of the United States both coming to the Republic of Ireland. And when we broadcast from Ireland for St. Patrick's Day a couple of months ago, then the announcement that the Queen was coming was made, and I thought it was quite hilarious. There was a pub owner in Dublin who put up a big sign that said, "Her Majesty is not welcome in this pub nor any of the members of her family," as if she were going to stop by for a pint, right?
Yeah, he did. And on the opposite scale of he did. Yeah, he did. There would be always a few very staunch Republicans still in the country, but the majority of people are quite happy to see her coming. You know, and there's all the tail end of the big wedding in London there recently with Prince William and Kate Middleton. But there's a lot of excitement with President Obama. There's T-shirts and the local Paddy Powers bookmakers. I don't know if you saw them when you came over here.
Yeah.
They've changed their names to Obama Power.
Oh, jeez.
For the week, you know, there's various bits and pieces. There's Obama bread selling up in Moneygall, where his
Oh, my gosh.
ancestors are from, and there's quite a lot of excitement about his visit. No dissenting voices there, but
Sure. Well,
yeah, the Queen's visit should be very exciting and very historic, and there's huge interest, you know, right across the world. I think there's 1,800 journalists.
Yeah, well, we're glad to talk to our favorite journalist in Ireland, Lynn Kelleher, and you'll apologize for my audio engineer playing God Save the Queen. We will slap his hand for that, and and we will talk to you down the road. Enjoy the royal visit and the President Obama visit. We'll find you online and keep in touch.
Thank you, Michael Patrick. Okay, good luck.
All the best to you. Slán go fóill to Lynn Kelleher, Ireland on Sunday.